Welcome back to the lectures on quantum chemistry and molecular spectroscopy. This is the assignment solutions continued into the third part, the part C, and let us look at the problems of the assignment 4 and 5. Problem 4 in the assignment given in your website tells you to watch the video on separation of variables for solving a couple of model problems studied using differential equation approach. Okay. I gave this as one lecture to tell you how the time dependent Schrodinger equation can be separated out when the Hamiltonian does not depend on time. It used that same procedure or a similar procedure for obtaining the time dependent wave functions for a particle in a one dimensional box using the time dependent Schrodinger equation. It is a very simple problem. I do not think I need to do that. The Hamiltonian that you have to do, H psi is equal to E psi that you write, that Hamiltonian is actually the particle in a box Hamiltonian. So, I think the solution for this problem is immediate. Okay. So, if I have to solve this H bar dou psi by dou t is equal to H for the particle in a box, then all I need to do is to write the psi of x comma t, which we did because the wave function is a function of both the coordinates and time, as the psi n of x, the particle in a box eigenfunctions, and the time only function where psi n of x is obviously the solution of the Hamiltonian H psi n of x is equal to E n psi n of x. Therefore, you know these are root 2 by L sin n pi x by L, and these are h square n square by 8 m L square. So, what is T of t? It is also very simple. T of t is exponential minus I E n t by h bar psi n of 0. So, this is the position dependent wave function or the position wave function that you have. This is the exponential factor. So, the wave function psi n of x comma t is e to the minus I E n t by h bar square root of 2 by L sin n pi x by L. So, this is the psi n of 0. So, the solution should be immediate. The general wave function for a particle in a box system will be a linear combination of all these functions psi n of x of t, but that if you want to do it is in the next course when you look at probabilities and overlaps, that might be useful. But this is the simplest solution for the time dependent Schrodinger equation for the particle in the box. Okay. Let us look at the next problem. It is asking you to calculate the energy eigenfunctions and eigenvalues for a particle in a 1D box whose boundaries are different. They are plus minus L by 2. The box length is still the same, L, and mass of the particle is m. It is important to recognize these are the parameters of the problem. The energy eigenfunctions and eigenvalues, if you look at them, energy eigenvalues do not depend on the coordinates. Remember, the E n's are h square by 8 m L square times n square. The coordinates has been integrated out. Therefore, as long as the length of the box is L and as long as the particle's mass is m, the energy eigenvalues do not change. It does not matter where you put your coordinates if the box width or the box length is the same as before. Therefore, the answer to the question about the eigenfunctions is slightly different, but the eigenvalues, problem 5, eigenvalues for x is equal to plus or minus L by 2. The eigenvalues are still h square by 8 m L square n square, since the box width is from minus L by 2, this is 0, this is plus L by 2, the box width is L. That does not change. What about the eigenfunctions? Interesting. Remember, the wave function that we solve for psi of x is equal to a cos k x plus b sin k x, where k is equal, k square is 2m e by h bar square. And then we use the boundary condition psi of x is equal to 0 is 0, psi of L x is equal to L is 0 earlier. Okay. Now, we are told psi of L by 2 is 0 and psi of minus L by 2 is 0. So, these are the two conditions that we have to use instead of the conditions that we used earlier. This the physical boundary is shifted, but the physics will not change. The wave function of course depends on the coordinate, and therefore, the wave function representation will be slightly different. Okay. We should see that. Now, for psi L by 2 equal to 0, you have psi of L by 2, if you substitute x is equal to L by 2, you have a cos k L by 2 plus b sin k L by 2. And psi at minus L by 2, remember cos of minus x is the same as cos of x, therefore, this does not change, this is still a cos k L by 2, minus k L by 2 is the same as cos k L by 2, but the sign changes, the sign function changes the sign, therefore, you have b sin k L by 2 with a minus sign. So, these are the boundary conditions now. Now, the boundary conditions are such that you have two equations, a plus b and a minus b, and therefore, if you add you get one equation, if you subtract you get the other equation. So, if you add you get 2a cos k L by 2 is 0, and if a is not 0, that means cos k L by 2 is 0, which implies k L by 2 is either pi by 2 or 3 pi by 2 or 5 pi by 2 and so on. So, I would write this in general as 2n plus 1 by 2 pi. That is, it is an odd number, odd integral multiple of pi by 2, that will make cos k L by 2 to 0. So, a is not 0. If you subtract, you get 2b sin k L by 2, and that is equal to 0, and this implies that sin k L by 2 being 0 or k L by 2 is n pi, namely pi, 2 pi, 3 pi and so on. Okay. Therefore, k L is 2 pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, etc. So, you can see that the wave functions are slightly different, because if k L by 2 is 2n plus 1, then what is k? K is 2n plus 1 pi by L, that is for this solution. Okay. And here k is equal to 2n pi by L, that is for this solution. Okay. Therefore, depending on the n value, you have two solutions. So, let me summarize that solution. Psi of x is equal to some normalization constant cos 2n plus 1 pi by L x, and this is for n equal to 1, 2, 3, etc., or it is a sin 2n pi by L x, again n equal to 1, 2, 3, etc. And the energy, of course, E n is the same, it does not change, it is h square n square by 8 m L square. Okay. So, all that happens is that the functional representation changes because the coordinates and the boundary conditions have been shifted, but the physics, namely the energy eigenvalue and where is the particle, the average value for the position of the particle is in the middle of the box. So, therefore, that will become L equal to 0. not like the L by 2 in the previous problem. Those are quite obviously the results of the mathematical consequences. Okay. This is the other problem. Now, let us look at the next problem. For the one dimensional box, obtain an expression for the maxima of the probability densities P is equal to psi n of x whole square for all n. It can be written down analytically, but let us explain the problem a bit. Recall that psi n of x whole, the absolute square for the particle in a 1D box. If you remember the picture that I had for the wave functions and the wave function square, for n equal to 1, something like that, it is a sine square. For n equal to 2, if you remember, it is a full wave. So, the square of the function gave something like that, 2 nodes. So, there is one maximum, another maximum here, there is one more maximum here, and this is for 1 n equal to 2, and for n equal to 3, of course, you will have 3 of these, and for n equal to 4 you will have 4 of these, and so on. Okay. The problem asks you to calculate this maxima in a formal way. So, what is the maximum? If the probability is given by psi n of x whole square, and that is essentially sine square n pi x by L times 2 by L, then you know this is the maxima or minima is obtained by taking the derivative of this probability with respect to the position and setting that equal to 0, and whatever value that we get for x, if we substitute that in the second derivative, if this is less than 0, then it is a maximum for this value of x satisfied by this equation, and if it is greater than 0, it is a minimum. That is easy to see, because you see this function has the minimum here and here, namely zeros, and in the middle it has at L by 2, this has a minimum, and you can see that the number of minima also increases. For n equal to 3, there are 2 minima and 3 maxima. For n equal to 4, there are 3 minima and 4 maxima, and so on. So, what is the formula for this? So, you take the derivative of this, the derivative of dp by dx is equal to 0 is 1 by L sine n pi x by L cos n pi x by L, and that should be equal to 0. This is 1 by 2 L sine 2 n pi x by L. Okay. So, you can see immediately that this function has a maximum at, for n equal to 1, for n equal to 1, the maximum is at x is equal to L by 2, and if it is n equal to 2, the maximum happens at L by 4 and 3 L by 4, because for n equal to 2, the probability density goes like this. Okay. And this point is L by 4, this is L by 2, and this point is 3 L by 4. So, now you can in principle write the general formula on what is the expression for the number of maxima and number of minima, and L by 2 is a minimum, L by 4 and 3 L by 4 are maxima. So, this is just a simple way of differentiating the function to obtain maximum in probabilities and minimum in probabilities. Okay. Let us go to the next problem. The next problem tells us whether, asks us to find out whether the wave function given by this formula psi of k of x is equal to 1 by root a e to the I k x in the interval minus a by 2 to plus a by 2. Are these wave functions normalized and orthogonal in the limit of a is equal to infinity? So, your answer. The first thing is to see whether these functions are normalized. So, psi k of x is 1 by root a e to the I k x, and the region is minus a by 2 x less than a by 2. Okay. Therefore, the normalization integral is psi k of x star psi k of x dx. The star is very important here. It is from minus a by 2 to plus a by 2. Why the star is important? Because the function is complex. Therefore, the absolute square is the represents the probability density. So, if you do that, the integral is minus a by 2 plus a by 2 1 by a. It is e to the minus I k x times e to the I k x dx, and this integral is 1. Okay. Therefore, this is normalized. Okay. What happens when we take the limit a tending to infinity? We can see that the wave function psi star psi dx, okay, from minus a by 2 to plus a by 2 gives you 1 by a times minus a by 2 plus a by 2 dx. Now, you want to take the limit a tending to infinity. That is, you are extending this finite limit minus a by 2 box plus a by 2 by opening it up all the way with this function, namely 1 by square root of a e to the I k x. Okay. You will see that there is no problem with that, because this integral, when limit of a tends to infinity, please note that this integral is actually independent of a, because the a gets cancelled out. Therefore, you have limit of a tending to infinity 1, does not change, it is 1. So, this is a beautifully normalized, box normalized free particle wave function. So, this function 1 by root a e to the I k x is known as box normalized free particle wave function. It is not a surprise if you remember the functions that you were used. It is root 2 by L sin n pi x by L. It is already there. Okay. Similar things have been done, except that this is the imaginary part of the e to the I k x. You have, otherwise functionally there is no difference in the concept. Okay. What about the orthogonality? The integral e to the I k x minus dx e to the I k prime x from minus a by 2 to plus a by 2. Okay. I would like you to calculate this integral and tell me and find out what the behavior of this. It is of course minus a by 2 to plus a by 2 e to the I k prime minus k x dx, and you know that this is not orthogonal. The integral is not 0 for finite a. Okay. So, you can do this integral. Okay. The next problem is a slightly longer problem. We will do that in the next part.